Rich, what's tonight's number?
All right, Richard Fowler, tonight's number is coming from the NRA, actually. We have like a summary of NRA's love affair with the AR-15. Now, in light of the recent shooting that happened in Orlando.
Hate crime.
Shooting and hate crime.
Thank you.
Act of terrorism, whatever you want to call it.
No, it's not. It's a hate crime first. And
Then
act of terror second.
Then a terrorism. Then a shooting.
Well, no, it's a shooting. That is the actual hate crime.
Okay. It's hate crime first. Don't forget it. Anyway, this hate crime could not have happened without the loving support of the NRA.
Of course, because they believe in hate crimes.
I mean, they basically positioned our country over the last couple of decades to be where we are now, which is that any person, even someone who's been investigated by the FBI, can easily walk into a store, purchase a gun that is a semi-automatic weapon that is used in combat scenarios by our military, such as the AR-15, which is one of the NRA's favorites. So to really hammer that point home and to just show you how flippantly the NRA is pushing this gun, we're going to break down some of the 22 most absurd tweets that they have shared and talk a little bit about what the impact of it is. So let's start with the first one. Have you ever hunted with an AR-15 rifle? Try it. You'll like it. What about this one? Why is the AR-15 America's most popular rifle? Because it's even cooler if you add a silencer. What about this one? Get to know your AR-15 rifle, and it'll treat you well. This is not something, like, you should not be describing a weapon capable of murdering people in this manner. It's just an idea. What about this one? Good follow Friday morning, folks. I've been missing my AR-15 this week. What were you missing? Hashtag NRA. Step 1, buy a great AR-15 rifle. Step 2, get to know it. What about things you should know before buying your first AR-15? Your first, because once you get one,
you're going to need a second.
You're going to need two. You know what? You might need a whole weapons locker full of it, and while you're at it, better not lock them up. What else? NRA also regularly promotes giveaways where they give away AR-15s like concert tickets. These ads are absolutely ridiculous. What about the Daniel Defense giveaway? 2 winners, AR-15 or a shotgun. Only a few hours left to enter the NRA giveaway for a chance to win an AR-15. This is a incredibly disturbing one. Check this out. NRA News tweeted this one out. They said, in New York, church congregation doubles in size for an AR-15 giveaway, and pastor makes a surprise announcement. Why is a church giving away a gun? Can anyone explain that to me?
I have no words.
No words. Okay, let's talk about a couple other ones. By the time armed thug saw a quick-thinking homeowner crouching and holding an AR-15, it was too late. Now, first of all, armed thug is coded language. I think we can all agree. We know exactly what armed thug means, right?
I mean, it's the NRA, so none of this should shock you.
None of this is shocking. What else we got? Sometimes you just want to say, I built it myself, talking about building your own AR-15. Why the AR-15 is more than a gun. AR-15, the gun liberals love to hate. All right? So basically, the NRA is regularly slinging this AR-15 rifle as the cool thing to own. It has been a weapon that has been involved in a lot of mass shootings.
Yeah.
And basically,
it's the same weapon. So what was the same weapon we saw in Orlando? It's also the same weapon that we saw in Newtown, right? And I think what we saw this week is Democrats saying enough is enough is enough. And so Democrats took to the Senate floor for 15 hours in a 15-hour filibuster asking for one simple change, not asking to ban the AR-15. All they're saying is that if you are on the terrorist watch list, you should not be allowed to buy an AR-15. Well, what makes this even
wow, that seems like a no-brainer.
But they can't get it through.
It's not going to happen.
But what makes it so crazy, especially in Florida, is that the gun law is written as such that if I want to go and buy a handgun, so a 50 caliber or 25 caliber handgun, right? I don't even know if that's what you call it.
There are many kinds.
Right.
You need to follow NRA's Twitter account so you can learn these things, Richard.
I would never. Right, you have to go to the gun store, make the purchase, you have to go through a FBI background check, And following that, there's a 3-day waiting period, or a cooling off period is what they call it.
This is in Florida.
In Florida, where Omar, or I'm not even going to say his name, the shooter bought his gun. For the shooter, when he bought his AR-15, or AR-15 style rifle, there is no waiting period. So you basically go in, get the background check.
In Orlando?
No, in the state of Florida.
Oh, okay.
And buy the gun automatically. So you can go in, you can buy...
So wait, where's the cool-off period?
Only for handguns.
Oh, okay.
The cool-off period is for handguns.
Wow, that makes literally no sense.
But for automatic, or semi, or fully automatic weapons, there is no cooling off period. And I mean, the question you have to ask yourself is, and so I'm not one of those people that want to ban the Second Amendment. I think it's fine. Right? Sure. I think it was written by crazy people at the time. I think it was written in a time where you needed to be armed. You don't need to be armed now.
You don't need to ban it.
I don't think you should ban it. But there is something to be said, in my opinion. Why is it that you need a high-capacity magazine in an AR-15? First of all, you can't use it in hunting. Like, you will destroy the venison. Like, anybody who's a deer hunter, like, I hunt deer. Like,
no one is hunting with an AR-15.
No, you can't, because you destroy the meat. You defeat the purpose of hunting. Right? So basically, this gun is a weapon of war used to mow people down.
Sure. I mean, I think best case scenario why someone would say, I bought this AR-15 is because, like, they want to go to the shooting range and shoot it.
Yeah, I mean, what
I don't know if that's a good enough... That's not, like...
If you're not going to the shooting range to use it, why else? You can't say, oh, I'm protecting my home, so I need an AR-15. That's what a handgun is for.
God, yeah. I mean...
Like, that's why you buy, like, a revolver. I mean, one shot will do you. Right? But buying an AR-15 with a high-capacity magazine means you're trying to kill multiple people at a very, very, very quick rate.
I mean,
which is exactly what we saw
like,
take place in Orlando.
Defending your home with a gun is, in a lot of ways, a fallacy that's been perpetrated by the NRA. When you actually look at the statistics of the amount of, when we're talking about justifiable homicides compared to the amount of total homicides that happen every year, justifiable homicides, or what the NRA is always talking about, like the good guy with a gun, happens like 1% of the time. It is so low that it is negligible.
Agreed.
And then you talk about the other 99% where people have more or less unrestricted access to guns. I mean, there's a small, waiting
And here's the thing, and I think, I want to put you've got to, America, you've got to put the guilt where it lies. The NRA, the National Rifle Association, I don't give a crap what they say about me. I really don't. But they are complicit. They are as complicit as Adam Lanza. They're as complicit as Dylan Ruth. They're as complicit as all the folks in Chicago who are all the gangbangers in Chicago. They're as complicit as the Orlando shooter. They are complicit of murder in the highest order. Not only because they push forward messages of hate, coded language, but also they believe in supplying weapons of war to terrorists, to racists, to bigots, to people that will go and shoot up a Planned Parenthood clinic in Colorado Springs, and they're just as complicit as somebody who would go shoot up a safe place like Pulse nightclub in Orlando, Florida. So anybody who has an NRA membership, who concurs or agrees with these type of tweets, this type of language, believes that everybody should have multiple AK-47s and AR-15s and Katushka rockets sitting in their garage, you are as complicit as terrorists, as ISIS and ISIL and Al-Qaeda and Osama bin Laden in the murder of innocent Americans. It's just that simple.
You're 100% right. We're coming up on the break here, but I do want to say this. A big argument we're hearing from the right wing right now when we're talking about this is people say it's too soon. They're bringing politics in it and it's happening too soon. Do not fall for that. What the right wing is trying to do right now is they are just trying to put enough distance between this shooting and people's feelings about it for us to go back to the status quo.
Exactly, and what's gone too soon is the 18-year-old who lost their life in the Pulse nightclub. That's what's too soon. Her life ended too soon.